Hi guys, it's Bible Girl. Welcome to another episode of R&R. This is the Battle of Hogwarts. Our chapter begins with everybody leaving the Great Hall to go fight. Harry's reminded that he has something to look for, and he starts heading out trying to figure out where the Horcrux is. He remembers people saying that no one's seen it in living memory, the lost item, so he goes over to the Grey Lady eventually, who is the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower. She's actually the daughter of Rowena, the founder of the house. We discovered that she stole the diamond from her mother, hid it, and since she died, killed by the Bloody Baron, we discover why he's called the Bloody Baron, no one found out where it was. Now, that is until a certain young man named Tom Riddle charms her. And he gets a hold of it. And Harry pieces together that Voldemort hid it the day he came to Hogwarts to apply for a job. And he starts piecing together all this stuff and recognizing the reason no one can find this Horcrux is because the people looking for it have, followed the rules. And so they haven't needed the place to find it. So he goes off, and so much is going on here. I'm not going to even pretend to tell you everything. He bumps into Hagrid and thing. He sees all these people fighting. People who are fighting include Lee and Hannah and Grop. And Neville goes out with Professor Sprout with Mandrakes, which is awesome. And even Neville's grandma is out there in the battle. It's really cool. He bumps back into Ron and Hermione, who have been missing for a little bit. We find out that they went to the Chamber of Secrets to get a Basilisk Vein to destroy the cup. So, another Horcrux down. They eventually get to the room requirement, which is where Harry knows where to go. He goes in and to tell Jenny she needs to get out, which she's elated because she wants to be out in the fight, and as soon as she leaves, she starts fighting. Tonks is also in there. He tells Tonks, and Tonks starts going out, and she goes to find her husband. Tonks has left her son Teddy behind with her mother, and this is something, for those of you who don't know what's going on, that's going to affect his life forever, and, well, hers, obviously. So, Harry, Ron, and Hermione go outside the room, because they said it really requires people to be out of the room for it to change. They go in, it becomes the room where Harry had hidden the potions book and the Half-Blood Prince. Although, interesting enough, they're in there, and they see Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle. Now, this threw me off a little bit, because they basically just said, oh, we need to be away. But this is a room of lost things. And it's intriguing to see these three boys in there, who are very much lost. They are way off the path of goodness, of who you should be as an individual, as a person. They're doing things with darkness. So it makes sense for them to actually be able to exist in the room, that the room requirement would welcome them there. Anyways, Crabbe decides that it's time to start fighting, to attack Harry, attack Hermione, attack Ron. And Draco has none of it, because he knows that the Dark Lord wants them alive, or at least Harry alive. This is an interesting point in the arc of these three characters, because the whole time we've been seeing Draco, the little leader of the pack, and Crabbe and Goyle on his side, but now Crabbe turns against him. He yells at Draco. He tells him that he isn't the boss anymore. He can't give orders because his family has been demoted. His family lost its position. It's fallen from grace, if you will. And it makes me think that perhaps even from childhood, little Death Eater kids, or, the children of Death Eaters, have been taught that the Malfoy family is important because they were favored by Voldemort. And obviously, there are things that we see for that family to be so, especially Voldemort's relationship with Bellatrix, that Lucius has the diary and he's trying to use it. They're definitely a part of his inner circle, or at least important early on. And so I wonder if Draco would have had any friends, really, if it weren't for his family station. But at this point, Crabbe has gotten ridiculously sadistic, really, And it almost seems as if Draco has been the one holding back a very dark person who hasn't done a lot, because Draco isn't so much a villain in our novels as a foil towards Harry. He's not evil. He just wants things to be good for himself. He's kind of selfish. He doesn't care about any cause whatsoever. And Crabbe goes like intense. He's throwing out spells. He's trying to kill Hermione. He's trying to stun Harry. And he does a spell that conjures up fire. And it's not just regular fire. It starts consuming everything. And later on, Hermione will point out this is so powerful, such a powerful spell that it can destroy Horcrux. And it starts turning into creatures and attacking, and he obviously can't control it. It's obviously a very strong spell because it kills him. Draco and Goyle are also about to die, but Harry, after seeing the diadem, they grab Draco and Goyle, they protect them, they save their lives, and they, after grabbing the diadem, run out. The room's destroyed, it's gone. At least this version of it. The Pottercast had a very interesting discussion over whether the room requirement was really completely destroyed or just this one room, but the power of this spell has at least altered the lost things in the room where people hide things. Now, when they get out, battle's raging, and we see Percy and Fred, and they're fighting, and Percy's thing right here is really awesome, because we see, like I said, how he's, completely switched sides. We're seeing that. Because he's fighting of all people, the minister. And he says something like, "This is my resignation." And Fred thinks that's hilarious. And he's really happy that Percy's making a joke, because he hasn't made a joke in ages. And he comments on it. And as he's commenting on it, Fred dies. And the writing for this section is haunting, and it's beautiful, and it's our first loss in this half of the book, really, I mean, yes, we just lost from the Slytherin kids, but this is the first loss we're meant to care about, meant to attack us. And a lot of people do not like that Fred died. They're angry that he died, because George is without his best friend. Literally, they've done everything together. They've grown up together. They work together. They're best friends. And now he's alone. And he'll be alone, and part of his heart and soul will be ripped away for the rest of his life. And people say that's not fair and it's wrong. And I happen to think that his death, was a perfect idea for Jo. And it's because this book isn't a children's book anymore. 1, 2, arguably 3 are children's books, purely children's books. When we hit 4, the story's changing. By the time we get to 7, this is not a children's book anymore. J.K. Rowling wrote a series that grew with its audience, and it's fantastic, and the fact that the readership was allowed to grow and continue with the story is amazing. At least the first generation. Things are going to change for subsequent generation, how it's going to work. But it just astounds me that people have an issue with it, because this is war, and it's fighting evil, fighting ultimate evil. And in a fight, in a struggle like that, people do die. There is loss, and a family can lose a big part of who they are, a whole. And it's especially poignant because finally Percy's back with the Weasleys and the family is all together, and 1 chapter later it's ripped apart and never going to be mended properly. This is what happens in real war. There are people that lose their brother, their sister, their love. And it hurts and it's painful. And that pain we all feel for George, for the rest of the Weasleys, for ourselves, because we've been attached to this guy, is meant to be there for that purpose, that we understand the weight of the war. And by the time people who started reading the book in elementary school were reading, college, and it's something they could really grasp and understand, and even a younger reader is going to see the power and weight that fighting evil has. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it costly? Absolutely. And on that happy note, we are done with the chapter. Get ready for some more sad and some more death, and I promise to mention the deaths and give something to them. Okay guys, real quick, I wanted to do a Wizard Rock Spotlight again. I've been totally failing at that. I've been meaning to do it for every episode. Right here I'm going to put up a Let's Lumos song, which is about Fred's death. It's called A Brother's Lament. And it's super sad and stuff, but it's, you know, supposed to be. And also, I wanted to do something fun, since we're pushing towards the end, that in these last handful of videos, I wanted to kind of spotlight my fun things I have. This is my new Hufflepuff scarf. The coloring's a little dark, but it matches my tie, which I'll show you the other one. My friend Adelina just made this for me, and she's super awesome. She made it kind of thick and long, but, I mean, it's really long, but I asked for it long. Match Cedric's length-ish in Goblet of Fire, the movie. This is my cool thing. It's part of my costume. I'll show you bits and bobs as we go on. Okay, guys, I love you. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow for Testimony Tuesday. Bye.